electrocast.
Brooks Running has a new shoe for you runners out there. Did you hear that? Better turn up your volume. In fact, turn it up to the max. Introducing the all-new Ghost Max. It's got all kinds of things to make your knees and ankles feel protected, like Max Cushion, Max Soft Landings with DNA Loft V2 foam, and Max Smooth Rides with their Glide Roll Rocker. Feel better on your run with Ghost Max. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
Prepare for an irresistible Thanksgiving meal at Whole Foods Market. Pick up an organic fresh whole turkey at the everyday low price of $3.99 per pound. Pro tip, shop today for the best selection. Or simply let Whole Foods Market cater your holiday with an elevated spread including gourmet turkey, sides like truffled Parmesan mashed potatoes, delicious desserts, and more. With holiday wine starting at $7.99, Whole Foods Market has Thanksgiving covered. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai. Hello, welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your inner power, to bring your gifts to the world, to shine, and all with love and no fear. This program is an empowerment program to empower you to bring people from all walks of life, artists, doctors, educators, anybody who is in their gifts and anybody who has something to share, to bring to the world, to the table, to this table of gathering. Because when we're together, we're stronger. This is our power, coming together. So in this program, it is a place for you to express yourself, to bring yourself here. And I thank you for being here. When I talk about manifesting, I emphasize the importance of the connection between the words being used, their energetic power, and the fueling power behind the words, the intention. Manifesting is not only about manifesting a dream of a certain occupation or a certain kind of a relationship, but also sometimes foremost, the healthy living that each one of us desires. Life that is free of emotional and physical pain. The thing is that words can be used both ways, to build and to ruin. As with most ailments, physical manifestation of ailments is the result of disconnect between mind and body. Heal your mind, heal your body. As in Hebrew it says, Nefesh Bria Beguf Bari. My guests today are two extraordinary and powerful women that, through their life experience and through their own pain management, bring to the table solutions to chronic pain. Since 1985, Dr. Tovah Goldfine has been practicing mind and body pain solutions, chiropractic and rehabilitation in the US and in Israel. Her mission is to teach her patients how to take care of their painful conditions, how to take responsibility for their health, and to know the doctor within. Dr. Tovah is a specialist in gentle chiropractic treatment, aquatic exercise rehabilitation. She's certified Nordic walking coach. Correct posture and how the muscular system directly affects our health and well-being has also been her professional field study for 35 years. TMS, Tension Myoneural Syndrome, is a pain syndrome or a number of different symptoms that originates from our emotions. The term was conceptualized by Dr. John Sarno. Meirav Har'el is an author of 3 books, and 4th is on the way, coach, public speaker, guiding others to mental and physical self-healing, mindfulness, and healthy diets that support emotional and physical growth. Meirav self-healed from 8 ailments and conditions, asthma, being bulimic, manic depression, migraine, spine problems, addiction to drugs, and allergies. I'm thrilled and excited to have Meirav and Tovah be here, so I would like to welcome them. Hello, Meirav and Tovah.
Hello.
Thank you very much for being here. It's such a wonderful...
מה שלומך?
שלומי בסדר. אני בסדר. תודה. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for being here and for bringing solutions and offering your gifts and your knowledge and your experience to the world, to everybody who is listening. And this is, I believe, is the first time we're doing this in English, right?
It's the first time Meirav and I have been together. We've been hosting together for a year and a half now or more, but this is the first time we've been together being interviewed by somebody else.
Oh, wow. Well, there's so much to talk about, and there's so much for you to share that I just hope I don't speak too much so you can share. But I want to ask you the first thing, either of you, the mind and body connection. And Meirav, you just also recently overcame a certain condition, and you can talk about that if you wish. But the mind and body connection, which is an integral part of our existence, we just now have access to it, and we know this. Do all people that come to you have this understanding at the first meeting? Do they understand? Do they come to you because they have pain and they want to get rid of the pain? And do they understand this connection between mind and body? And how do you bridge that? Because I always say, everything physical has a spiritual reason and cause. So sometimes people come with just this pain. I want to get this pain out. And so how do you bridge this?
Meirav?
You want me to start?
Man, better.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, the answer is unfortunately not. Most people don't get it. Like maybe they heard about it, maybe they read something about it, maybe their mind is familiar with the sentence that the body and the mind are connected. But as soon as something begins to hurt, as soon as there is a disease or an illness, small or big, like cancer, the minute it goes there, like all the knowledge goes out the window. And it's like they know nothing. It's because it's very, 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 first of all, frightening. It's very frightening to think that my soul, my nefesh, my human soul is connected to my body. Like many people take it to places of blame. Am I to blame? Is this my fault? Is this my fault? Did I create that? And the truth is not. No one is to blame for the body-mind connection. There's no blame. So it's very difficult. So this is the first step. And then the second one is when we ask people, both Tovah and I, we have different methods, but we speak the same language. Like in order to heal ourselves from any kind of a physical condition, we need to find the emotional source, the thing within us, that place within us that's crying help through the body. Because the body speaks the part of the human soul that screams for help. And we need to find that place. So first of all, this is scary. Second of all, we know we're going to find. And then we need to take responsibility for that part within us and heal it and take care of it. And it's a bit frightening. And it takes time to bridge that. Like
is it a fear of losing control?
Also, and it's the fear of what bears are you gonna awake? There's a phrase in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Don't awake the sleeping
bears,
bear.
Yeah,
so I don't know how to translate it into
it's like
English,
opening a Pandora box. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we have defense mechanisms that don't want us to go where it's painful. They stay away. So all of that is like the first barriers or the first blocks into the healing that you encounter in the healing process.
Wow, this is scary to see, to recognize something.
For your audience, I think if anybody wants to, I'm always about having people take home something. So if this all feels like woo-woo, this is science. I mean, this is all based on science, and it's being proven now all the time. I can back it all up. The mind and body are intimately connected.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. And when we have anxiety, which is normal, thank God I have anxiety when I'm crossing the street and I wait for that green light. That's anxiety that's helping me. But when we have anxiety that is causing us stress, if we don't listen to that, at some point the brain begins to hyper react, and then it turns into, God forbid, a cancer cell. And this is it. So
Prepare for an irresistible Thanksgiving meal at Whole Foods Market. Pick up an organic fresh whole turkey at the everyday low price of $3.99 per pound. Pro tip, shop today for the best selection. Or simply let Whole Foods Market cater your holiday with an elevated spread including gourmet turkey, sides like truffled Parmesan mashed potatoes, delicious desserts, and more. With holiday wine starting at $7.99, Whole Foods Market has Thanksgiving covered. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Meirav and I teach, look at the anxiety, recognize it, be mindful, understand that there's a monster under the bed, and it's you, and you're this loving person who's behaving human, and you're judging yourself and you're critical, and we're all going through this at different levels of our healing journey.
Absolutely.
We all have TMS, we all have stress, but we're resilient. So we look at our anxiety, we do some yoga. Some people smoke a cigarette, smoke a joint if you want, but be aware that you had anxiety, and if you don't recognize it and accept it, and acknowledge it, it will turn into physical pain. And this is what the studies are showing us, that I just spoke to a scientist earlier tonight that pain is an emotion. Pain and emotions are they're perceived by the same place in the brain. So pain is my emotion, fear, shame, guilt. So pain's not a bad thing. It's an expression.
That's right.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I do that.
No. It's wonderful. It's not about it's fluid. Where we're going here.
Okay.
And it's a conversation. It's not
it's a round table.
Yeah, exactly. So it's and absolutely, because then we start believing. It's like somebody says, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And most of the time what will end up happening is that they get exactly what they don't want, because the energy is being put there. And so here's, for example, what would you say to a karmic connection? Because we know many times we bring karmic connections from our ancestors, from our generations, into our current life, whether it is past life. Now, again, some people may not go there, may not say, hey, I don't believe in past life, and that's okay. But we have this channel that brings not only the good things, the healthy things for us, but also brings karmic connections. So do you bridge that? Do you talk about that? Or do you just keep it here, keep it in your physical body, your emotions, and not go beyond?
I'd like to comment, because it's fascinating. And I learned this really just a few years ago, understanding something deeper and having words to put on it.
Family constellation, for example.
Yeah. So we have patterns. We learn patterns. We learn survival growing up. We learn, Gabriel Matai talks about, as a young child, we have to choose sometimes authenticity over attachment. So we give up our authenticity, and we just to get love and attention. So we all know about surviving growing up, but we have patterns. This is kind of how I learned to verbalize it recently. I think I talked about it differently years ago, but we have patterns. And if we can recognize those patterns of relationships, which were in past lives, and we're back here working our tikkun, working our karma, we get to look at those patterns. And what Meirav says, it's all about accepting ourselves. We're not here to change people. We're here to have you accept.
First of all, accepting. Yeah.
And the beauty of the patterns is that, we have these characteristics. Like I can be very trusting, and I could trust and it could hurt me, or I could trust and it could help me. So we're just teaching people about balancing your midot.
So here I have a question from wonderful Gina Ann. She's a good friend, and she's also my co-host on Abracadabra in different times. So I'm going to post her question. She asked, would you say that pain is an alert to heal and is really a blessing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'd say yes. What do you say?
Go ahead, Meirav. Go ahead, take that.
Yes, of course. All pain is alert system. It's an alert system. Attention.
It's like when we have a headache.
Warning.
It's like when we have a headache. So the body is not responding. So we have to pay attention. Okay.
It's a blessing in disguise because it fucking hurts. Pain hurts. It doesn't matter if your head hurts or your leg hurts or your back hurts. Yeah, it's painful. It's a blessing in disguise. But yes, it's an alarm system. It's alarm mechanism. Something is wrong. Something is not going well. The physical pain is just an expression of an emotional pain, of an emotional source, a part of within me that hurts, and finding that place within me that hurts. That's the real job. That's the real thing. Like, which part within me screams help, screams alert, attention, help me, come and save me. And sometimes you go back to your childhood and sometimes you don't. And sometimes, yes, you can go back into past lives, but you don't have to. This is like me answering the other question from like the one that Tovah answers. Because for me, my answer is you can, and then you don't have to. Like I know that we reincarnate. I know. I don't believe. I'm past believing. I know.
It's a noetic sense. Yeah, it's a knowing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the knowing, and I know because I've been investigating the NDE area, near death experience, like for 10 years. I love that area, out of body experience, NDE. So I know that this is not a one-time show. I know.
It's part of a film.
I know that everything is interwoven. Everything that happened to us, all the lessons we didn't finish, all the things that we did or did not do are intertwined or in our specific life. But having said that, it's not obligatory to find out what I did in past life in order to find solution in this round. Okay, because everything, if there's an unfinished business from past life with someone who used to be my dad and now it's my daughter, okay, it doesn't matter, because if there's some unfinished business, it's gonna be in my relationship with my daughter. It's gonna be there. So it's sometimes, and I know Dr. Brian Weiss and Dr. Michael Newton, like I love them and I adore their work. But you can heal yourself without knowing that information. Sometimes it's nice to have. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, I have this thing in my head, and it's because in my last past life I had like a hammer, like I
but
died.
Don't you think that maybe some people cannot comprehend that concept of past lives and they don't accept it or whatever, so you're going to this solution. But don't you think that understanding the reason and the cause will help eradicate it from the source? I mean, if we just focus on what is happening now, isn't it just like Band-Aid? I'm sorry? It's not obligatory. Gotcha.
It's not obligatory. You can do amazing job. an amazing healing without knowing these kind of answers. This is all I'm saying. It's nice to have. I love it. I love
fascinating,
knowing
right?
that.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. It's amazing. It's like, oh my God. But it's not obligatory in order for a person to heal his life. I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I understand.
Sometimes it's nice to have. It's only nice to have.
Do you feel that
this is my point of view?
No, I get that. I totally get you. Do you feel that it can complicate things further? If somebody
Depends on
the person, right? Yeah. Like somebody like myself, I've like you, I'm fascinated with that. So without knowing the juice and the bolts and what makes the dish, it doesn't work for me. But that's me. That's me. That's somebody else. Now,
Ilan, in our show, in Tovah's shows and mine, like we hardly speak of spiritual aspects. And I live spiritual aspects all day long. We hardly talk about it. You know why? Because just talking about the body and the mind, or in Hebrew, the guf and the nefesh, the body and the human soul, it's more than enough to some people. It's overwhelming as it is. You don't need to add also all the spiritual aspects in order to help someone to heal his body or his soul.
It's like solution-focused coaching. That's what I also.
It just made me think that we should really talk. We should talk more to people. We should really teach people more about that we are a body living in a spirit. That would change people. We so have learned that we are a spirit living in a body, so we're very body focused. But that could be the name of a good show, we are a body living in a spirit.
Well, you cannot have the body without a spirit. I mean, you can, but it won't do anything. It's like having a car without a driver.
We have to give the spirit its due, and it's not because it's coming around. It's biting us in the butt. It's because we're not giving it its due.
For everybody who is watching, everybody who is watching joining now. I'm joined with Dr. Tovah Goldfine and Meirav Har'el, working at TMS Roundtable Solutions, and they have also a Facebook. You have your own program. You have your own roundtable in Israel. Your own program that you and Meirav are hosting, and I was blessed to be a guest on it, talking about sound and the connection of frequencies and sound and intentions.
And your wonderful high tea.
Thank you. And thank you, Gina, for the question. Oh, she has more. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. Excellent question.
She has great questions. She has great questions. After this question, I wanted to show a video of before this question, I want to show a little video talking about what you do. And then there will be another video showing other people who have healed themselves. And Meirav, I would like you to talk also about your healing process, because that is the juice of things, So let's watch this here for a second, and we'll be right back. Let's.
The late Dr. John E. Sarno is a pivotal figure in pain management. His controversial books on the psychological origins of chronic pain sold over 1 million copies, and he cured thousands of patients from chronic pain. This included celebrities such as Anne Bancroft, Larry David, and Howard Stern. Revered by some as a saint and dismissed by others, Dr. Sarno maintained that most non-traumatic instances of chronic pain, including back pain, gastrointestinal disorders, headaches, and fibromyalgia, are physical manifestations of deep-seated psychological anxieties. Dr. Sarno, who specialized in rehabilitation medicine, developed his theories over almost 50 years at New York University School of Medicine. He gave the various forms of chronic pain the collective name Tension Myositis Syndrome, or TMS, which, apart from its psychological roots, he attributed to mild oxygen deprivation caused by reduced blood flow to muscles and nerves throughout the body. He said most of his patients improved simply by learning and thinking about the psychosomatic connection to pain, and that others recovered by journaling regularly and in some cases doing psychotherapy. During his time in practice, Dr. Sarno conducted 2 follow-up surveys of his patients to gauge the effectiveness of his treatment approach. The first, conducted in 1982, selected 177 patients at random, of which 76% reported being pain-free. The second study was done in 1987 and focused on 109 patients who experienced back pain. In this survey, 88% reported being pain-free. Dr. David Schechter, who practices Sarno's techniques, also conducted similar follow-up surveys on his patients and reported a 57% success rate among 85 patients. In 2010, Dr. Howard Schubiner, who is the founder and director of the Mind-Body Medicine program at Providence Hospital, conducted a randomized controlled trial, or RCT, on the effectiveness of the TMS approach in treating fibromyalgia patients. This study was the first TMS-specific research study to use an RCT, the gold standard of the medical community. The study was conducted on 45 randomly chosen women who had fibromyalgia. The treatment consisted of just a one-time consultation followed by 3 weekly 2-hour group lecture sessions explaining TMS. After a 6-month follow-up, 46% of the participants reported a pain reduction of at least 30%. Since pioneering our understanding of the mind-body connection, many other scientists have gone on to develop a deeper understanding of how we need to take a more complete approach to chronic pain management, appreciating that chronic pain is the result of both biological and psychological factors. This is known as the biopsychosocial model, and it's how we treat those in pain through the Pathways program. If you're in chronic pain, download the Pathways app for free on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Well, this is wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is really
They did a good job.
so Tovah, tell me about how you started with John Sarno.
Well, I'll tell you, the first book, first of all, I grew up with a mother who had multiple sclerosis. So I always say, there was something going on in my world, that past life, this life, that led me to want to look at why somebody gets a disease and why somebody doesn't, and what someone does with their disease. And then I went to chiropractic school, and it's a very philosophical education. And we learned about, it's interesting, we learned about that there's some kind of universal intelligence that's connected to my innate intelligence. You know, like what's making your heart beat? What's making your nervous system function? This is something spiritual or something energetic that, like gravity, we cannot see, touch, feel, or, but it's there. So I was always searching as a young girl, and I think in honor of my mother. In fact, I have a new website in Hebrew and English coming out, and there is a part in there where I honor my mother, which was always something I wanted to do, short of writing a book, to honor her, because in her honor, in her blessing, I'm a relentless doctor trying to help people take responsibility for their health, because she didn't have the knowledge. So we have the knowledge. We know. Meirav and I have done 60-something shows. I've done 80-something shows.
73, but who's
73? I counted last week 72.
Must mean 90 with Rose. And so that's 160 shows that I've been involved with, of people healing from MS and cancer and arthritis and fibromyalgia and everything. And these are not spontaneous remissions. These are not people that were lucky. These are people that took responsibility. That's it. These are people that had a passion and a will and a drive, because belief is biological. Compassion is biological. Love heals. Love is chemical. Again, right. I'm not bashing medical system. Many of the cancer people, they went and got chemo, but they also understood that if they take responsibility with their doctor, integrating, they will have a complete healing. And so healing, as we say, Meirav, right? Healing is for everyone, but not everybody will want to heal. If we're back to the original question, not everybody is ready to heal. And this is a frustration that Meirav and I have, because you really have to accept where people are at. I mean, we live in a medical model, and the medical model has its purpose. And the medical doctors are taught to take care of anything organic or structural, and then I don't know. And that's their job. But unexplained medical symptoms are happening all the time. And they walk into Meirav's office or my office, and we say, well, there's so much we can do, but are you ready to take responsibility? And they'll say, what does that mean? And it means finding the monster under the bed, to make a long story short, and love yourself and accept yourself and know that healing is possible. It might mean living with pain. We meet people who live with pain, but doesn't stop them from living their life, because there's pain. And there is life. And as Eckhart Tolle said, I'm not my pain. You're not your pain body. We can separate pain. We can separate disease from who I am, because I'm who I. So this is much more spiritual, where you guys can go, this is the beauty. So what started was my mom, may she rest in peace, and a little bit of trauma in my life that brought me to want to, speaking about trauma, Gabriel Maté, he says, and this goes to talking about the narrative of people telling their story and talking about, their story. The question is, it's not the trauma as much as it's the experience.
It's the healing of the healing of the trauma.
What happened to you?
Yes. And if I can take responsibility and stop talking in my monkey brain about my trauma, I can be living my life and understanding and accepting my experience of my trauma, because my experience of my trauma is happening in every relationship. If I don't deal with it, I'm going to keep bringing it up in every relationship. So all that, probably the most traumatic people have become the best doctors and the best people, because especially if we decided to, practice our own medicine. And I think what led me to want to help people help themselves. But it's not easy, because a lot of people are not ready. And I understand that. But there are people who get a sense of feeling like, what is this I'm hearing? Like they get a calling, or they read a book, or they hear from you, or they meet Meirav, and they're like, something's here. And so we all have that in us. And I think people will have their lifetime where they will come forward and be, I'm ready to take responsibility. So in answer to your question, I just feel very blessed to have had, I guess, they say, I guess I'm more resilient than some people, meaning I'm more willing to look at the monster under the bed every day. It doesn't go away. We don't cure. I don't believe in cure. I believe in a process. And I think God cures. And
amen. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's a process. I don't think any of our
God cures, we heal.
Yes, very good.
Okay.
That's it. Good. That's a good way to end.
This is and when we talk to ourselves, the experiment with Professor Emoto, right?
The water, right?
And how we talk, and how we talk to others, and so how we talk to the two separate groups of water that he talked, and one talked good, and one group, the first group that was talked positively, grew shaped into beautifully geometrical shapes of the particles, and the negative spoken to group of water just was a brown splat. So when we talk to ourselves, and we are more than 80% water, what vibration do we create in ourselves when we talk? Gina has another question. I'm going to put it up here. Would you also agree that emotional pain can also cause physical pain, and the words we are told and what we tell ourselves assist us to heal? We spell words visually and auditorial. Therefore, our words are spells, a springboard for Abracadabra.
You can answer that, Meirav.
It's too long. I'm trying to understand what the question is. Again.
Would you agree that emotional pain can cause physical pain, and the words
emotional pain can also cause physical pain? Yes, of course.
Yes.
This is like the right order. First, there is emotional pain, and then it becomes physical. This is the right order. It's not physical, and then it becomes emotional. I may
It's
hurt
first
because
emotional.
my
First,
leg
there is a
hurts.
shock. There is a shock, or there is something. Yes.
Yes.
This is.
And again, when I talk about when we talk about emotional pain, like at least in Hebrew, there's a distinction between when we say soul, when we talk about the human soul, we talk about the cognitive aspect, our limiting beliefs in our that area, and then there's the emotional aspect. There are two aspects to the human soul, and they're connected, and both of them can be the cause source of the physical pain. Okay, because every thought has emotion attached to it, and every emotion has a thought attached to it. So this is like for the first part. This is the first part of the Zeh. And the words we are told and what we tell ourselves assist us to heal. Yes. We spell words visually and auditorial. Therefore, our words are spells. Yes.
It's a play on word. We spell a word, but a word is also a spell, a kishuf, right?
Yeah.
Especially if we believe our words, which may be lies.
Yeah,
that's right. What place am I in when I say these words? What place I'm inhabiting? Maybe I go to a place of pain and I go to a place of trauma and I say these words, believing that this is what it is, but they actually are stemming out of a traumatic pattern that evolved from something else. And so that's when it goes back to the initial question that I had. How do you differentiate between the spiritual and the physical? Because if I come from a pattern and I'm saying something to somebody that is hurtful, but the place that I inhabited when I said that was from a pattern, from a wound, if there is no disconnection, or at least for me, the understanding of that connection, healing cannot really happen. And otherwise it becomes like a Band-Aid. I'm just Band-Aiding. So that is to add to this, to the words that what you said. What place do we inhabit within ourselves when we say what we say?
Well, first of all, they say that מחשבה יוצרת מציאות, that our
the
beliefs
thought creates.
But it's not the thoughts that creates reality, because if there were the thoughts, then I would have said, okay, black elephant, hooray, there's no black elephant. My thoughts or my words don't create reality. It's our beliefs that create reality. That's first of all, our inner beliefs. And we don't always know or aware to our beliefs. Most of them are limiting beliefs. Like, if I believe that I'm not enough, and this is a very painful thought. I'm not young enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not expressive enough, I'm not generous enough, all the not enough family.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the program. Who talks about it? Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about it. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it. Greg Braden talks about it. Like it's in the program, in the subconscious programs. Then this program creates reality. These beliefs are painful, and then we meet them on the upper level of reality. But like it goes way, 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 way back. Now, someone taught me that I'm not enough, or that something is fucked up with me, something is wrong with me, I'm damaged. Yeah. This is a limiting belief, but someone taught me, life taught me, either my dad, my mom, my school teacher, my siblings, someone taught me that. And this is a very, very painful place to believe. And this can generate reality.
That's right.
This can cause like for it to manifest. It's not that I want the black elephant. I want the black elephant. I'm thinking I'm manifesting black elephant. I'm like vibrating the black elephant. I'm stuck. Usually it's the pink elephant. Yeah, but
I want to win the lottery. That kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever. I want the big car. I'm manifesting. I have a vision board. Whatever.
Yes,
but
yes.
In my deeper and inner belief system, I'm not worthy, not enough, damaged, or whatever.
Doesn't matter what I say.
This is the source of the pain, as far as I'm concerned. And when someone comes to me, either with MS or fibromyalgia or cancer or asthma, I'm looking for these places within, for these painful places within. I know they're there. We all have them.
We all experience them.
Yeah, it's not our fault. We're not to blame. But I'm looking for these places, and I know they're in there. But the point from which I go into that seeking journey is from love and compassion and grace. Now let's go look for these places within. Let's heal this place, and then the body will heal itself. If I change, because healing in one word is changing. If I want to heal myself, I have to change. And I have to change the belief system, and I have to change the emotional, how do you say, carriage, the emotional weight I'm carrying.
Yes, the weight, yeah.
Yeah, I have to take it out. And there are like, how
that derives that this emotional state that we are in derives from the limiting beliefs that every action, because of this limiting belief, every action I take stems out of that limiting belief. So it's like climbing a tree and then going on a branch. And then you're focusing all your efforts on a branch, but it's only a branch.
Yeah.
So the branch will crack at one point. So going back to the tree, this is fascinating. I'm I showed that already. We had that already. So thank you for that.
Another way to verbalize it is that, we have this unconscious, which has been proven scientifically is the body.
Mm-hmm.
The unconscious is the body. And I think a lot of us practitioners and we've met a lot of coaches over the last couple of years, we're all trying to have our unconscious become conscious, so then we can become more mindful, loving, accepting, and then healing.
Yeah.
So it's like that process, and it, Meirav has her beautiful words around it, and I'm developing a language because I didn't learn a lot of this, and it's just so beautiful to evolve as even just as a practitioner helping people, because they say when the student is ready, the teacher will come, and that student will bring out the best in that teacher. So I know it's trying for us three to be in this field and be meeting people we see people struggling and suffering, and it's and the relationship. I want to mention this, it's very important. I would not have known this because some of my traumas growing up were not good relationships with health professionals or therapists, and this relationship with the therapist or the coach, that safe place, that accepting place, that place where I can really be myself, or what I say, naked with your clothes on, that I can be me. Where do we go to a therapist and really feel that way, that we feel so safe? And that's, my one attraction to Meirav as a partner, was this book called The Psychologist in You, because we want to empower, the word you're using in the show, our clients to love themselves. That we have to show them a loving, safe relationship because they're in pain, because they don't feel safe. So it's really beautiful to meet other practitioners that I would, refer anyone to you and be honored to work with you, because I feel the safe place that you've created. So that's so important for anyone out there. When you're looking for a therapist, I always say interview them.
Absolutely.
There's a book called The Patient Will See You Now. You speak to them and you ask them questions, and you want to walk out there feeling safe feeling that you could be yourself, feeling that there was no judgment, no critical
judgment.
voice, just and question that therapist. Ask them about them. You have a right to be in an equal relationship with them. Can we talk just a minute about that? Maybe your experience, iLan, or maybe your experience, Meirav, about that with that interaction?
Well, Meirav, I mean, this is a great point. Maybe it can come through, Meirav, how we're dealing with your own healing. From your from the conditions that you have, and maybe you can talk about this, and that I feel will feed into the answer of what Tovah is asking.
And then writing a book. I mean, the feeling of writing a book and talking about yourself in that way is you have to feel really safe.
This is Meirav book. It's going to show in the middle here. I don't know how it's going to look like, but it's like this. It's covering our Meirav's face, but this is one of your books.
I'm still here. Yeah, this is the first out of 3. Yeah.
The first out of 3. And listen to your soul and heal your body of chronic diseases, and how to be your own psychologist.
Yes.
And there is a third book, How to Be Kinder to Ourselves, but it has a different title. It's going through a different titling thing.
Yeah, it's How to Manage Our Inner Kindergarten.
Oh.
Overcome Past Traumas. Yes, this is the translation it's going to get in English.
Our inner child, huh?
And they're all in Hebrew and English. Nachon? Hebrew and English.
Yes, now, 2 of them are in English, and the third one will be in English. And yes, because I work a lot with the inner children. Like, this is what I told you. I go, when I said earlier, I go to the limiting beliefs, then the larger picture is I'm going straight into the basement where the bleeding inner children awaits us. Like, this is the entire picture. This is not just going into the limiting beliefs. I'm going into that places within us that bleeds, and we all have them. We don't need to our parents to put us out cigarettes on our hands or throw us into an orphanage in order to have a trauma. That's you know, like, it's enough to being assaulted or ashamed, or it can be like small stuff. This is what Tovah said before. The Dr. Gaber says, it's not what happened to you, it's how you felt while how your emotional system dealt with what happened to you. Were you taken care of? Where your emotional needs be taken care of? Okay, so this is like, all the years I've been helping people, like, the ones that helped, that were successful in healing themselves, because I heal no one. I help people. I guide people. You know, like, I hold their hand and I walk them by. Yes,
you're the guide.
They heal themselves. So all the people I helped during the self-healing journeys, we all got into eventually we got to the basements, to the inner basements.
Yes. That's for everything.
And this is why the third book has a therapeutic model that helps people, like, they did not study the human soul, but helps them how to reach these places in order to heal these places and therefore heal the body. Okay, because we cannot
this
heal
is
the
fascinating
body without healing these places.
Absolutely, nefesh bria beguf bari. You know, we have to heal our. So
how do you translate it in English?
A healthy spirit and a healthy body.
Healthy spirit and but it's not the spirit; it's the human soul.
Yes. Well. We decided not to go into the deepness of the 5 levels of the souls, because there are 5 levels, nefesh, ruach. Okay, so it is the soul.
Spirit is something higher.
Healthy soul, healthy soul in a healthy body. That's sentence from our sages.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you want me to talk about the 8 conditions I have,
yes, that's what I'm going to talk about now. That's what I want you to say, because apparently you went through there having your limiting beliefs that helped you, that maybe caused you or were instrumental in your in where you were in your sicknesses and your diseases and how you healed that. And to talk about that, to refer to that, because that will talk to many listeners here.
Yeah. So, well, obviously, I cannot talk about the entire healing path because it took me 10 years. And there were like 8 different roads, like eight different illnesses. And all of them took me 10 years in order to heal. So, and that journey started 16 years ago. Okay. And I knew nothing. Like Tovah was talking about feeling safe and feeling like confident. I had none of that. I worshipped like they were gods, like as far as I was concerned, because I had so many problems. I had so many illnesses, both physically and emotionally or psychologically, like having a bipolar disorder. That's a heavy duty. That's like a very, very, how do you say it? It's a hardcore condition. You want to die. You don't care. Like I didn't care about my kids. I didn't care about them. I just wanted to die. So in order for me to believe that I can do it, I can heal myself from bipolar disorder. Nobody does that. And even my psychiatrist, he told me, you cannot. You cannot do it. You will not be able to heal yourself. Okay. So I did not start with the bipolar disorder. I started with the asthma. But the point of view that I had when I began, like 16 years ago, when I went into the journey, was like zero belief that I can heal myself. This was the main limiting beliefs, and it took me like 4 or 5 years just reading books and seeing movies and hearing lectures like Louise Hay, God rest her soul, like books like that the people that spoke, yes, you can heal yourself. It was like, what? Me? But I'm that small. I'm no one. I'm nobody. How can I heal myself? How can I do it? I had asthma for 18 years. How am I supposed? What do I do? Where do I go? What? Like what? So it took me a few years just to believe that, to understand that the body and the mind or the soul are connected. There's a strong connection between them, and understanding. And the other thing was understanding, what does my soul trying to say through the asthma? And for me, what I found out, that my dad beat me up as a child. Okay, I was a beaten child, and I grew up in an environment of fear, like fear,
gasping
from the
for air,
for the next hit, the next shout, like. So the asthma in my story set on that place, like this was the part of me that screamed for help, that wanted healing. The asthma started when I was 18 years old, in a day, in a heartbeat, like all of a sudden. When I in Israel, when you finish school, you go to the army. It's mandatory. Okay, you go to the army. So I finished school and I went to the army, and it started in a day. So I was out of the terror. Okay, I survived the terror, the emotional terror. So my body, because I survived and went out of the house, my body started to tell me a story of a place that was frightened. Okay, it took me 18 years to understand the story, the message. But
so you had 18 years of asthma. So you had 18 years of asthma.
18 years of asthma and inhalers and steroids and all the things that are included in asthma. Okay, and who knew Who the fuck knew? I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know I can. This is like, like, I think that today, what's different than 18 years ago, that today people know it's possible. Like, it's not the majority, but you have movies like Heal. You have people talk about it. Like, it's not that rare, like there's no just Louis Hay, and that's that. So understanding that we can do it. This is like a main thing. I believe in my healing powers. I believe in the fact that the body can heal itself in the right conditions, both cognitive conditions and emotional conditions. And then the body can heal itself. This is number one, believing in that. Second of all, understanding the what. What does my soul tells me through the illness, through the disease. And it takes time. You need to ask the right answers in order to get the right
That's good. You need to ask the right answers. This is good. For years I had this, and this is part that I'm using in the workshop, is the what, why, where. Is to identify the what, to why, and where you're going from here. Is the www. I want to this is fascinating. Thank you for sharing this. And you had so many other conditions, and
1 out of 8, but we don't have the time to talk.
We don't have the time, but I want to show another message from Gina. Gina Ann is a spiritual counselor, and she's an inner child specialist. So this is what she reads. Really resonates, the inner child, and going back to umbilical cord of the trauma. It all begins with our inner child and get back to play. From my professional and personal experience, we tend to treat trauma as an illness rather than an injury. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and wonderful energy. Absolutely. So thank you, Gina, for all the wonderful insights. This is great. She's all the time have this great.
Neither of us invented the inner child work.
Yeah.
I did not invent that, and I'm sure Gina did not invent that, but she uses it to help people. I used it to help myself, and I used it to help people. We did not invent the inner child work.
That's right.
It needs to be taught in schools, like in kindergarten.
It was there. It's the problem that we in our generation are growing up, we didn't have the access to it. There was no access. It's not that it wasn't there. So now that we have the access, now we're formulating how to maneuver with the access to all this information. And to be honest with you, sometimes all this information can be daunting and can create by its own like a fear of dealing with this, because it's like, wow, so much information, so much to deal with. All these kind of things. It can create its own. There's some people that just tell me what to do and that's it. I don't want to hear about here, but just tell me what to do. And when you bombard them,
or tell me what to swallow.
Or tell me what to swallow. Exactly. Give me a pill or give me a bagel.
It's not about doing; it's about being.
Yeah. You're talking about accepting. Kabbalah, aside from being a container of receiving, Kabbalah is like a receipt. Is acceptance. Is about the acceptance, and the accepting is really, because Kabbalah in Hebrew is a receipt. It's like you give something, you accept it. I accepted it. I gave you something. So it is really it is a big part of and accepting is hard.
Nothing new. This is nothing new under the sun. This is all
no,
Torah.
but still, we're all
the Bible.
That's right, and not everybody is open to that. Not everybody was familiar with that, and this can never be an old information, because there's always somebody who is listening and needs this information and needs that. I know that I'm just being with you. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, if we grew up and we kept saying to ourselves, "Oh, my body has the solution before the problem," I would understand that I made the problem.
That's true.
And I learned that from Torah. So. We're just here we're here repeating and being a conduit for this amazing information.
I want to talk about the documentary, and I want to show a clip of it. All the Rage film. Do you want to talk about this a little bit before I show this? Yeah,
I'll just mention it real quick. First of all, you can watch it for $5 only. It's been out maybe 5-6 years. It's an amazing documentary. about Dr. John Sarno, and I decided to use the word TMS, which is Tension Myoneural or Tension Myositis Syndrome. It's just a name for when the body's expressing, hold on, I just have to put my, when the body's expressing, when the body's expressing a physical reflection from a psychological cause. And again, it has nothing to do with your head. It has to do with simply your brain fight and flight mechanism, which is a topic for another whole show. On it's amazing that thank God our brain does what it does. Thank God my brain creates inflammation when I need it. But if it's creating inflammation because of stress, so it's fascinating. So Dr. John Sarno figured this out. And a gentleman named Michael Galinsky, who was a patient of his, was also a film producer. And he made a documentary that Meirav and I just think is amazing. And, you know, we have every one of the people that we work with. I know she works with, and anyone I get sent to, I have them watch the movie as first ability to see the potential and to see the science and to know that this is not woo-woo. This is the real thing. And it's done, the movie's done very well. I mean, there was a problem because first Sarno didn't want to be like the star, and they needed like a character. So Michael Galinsky became the character, and his story, which is really a beautiful story of drama and trauma, became the story. And I think it's well done. It's been being shown in 80 countries. It's been translated to thousands of different languages. Sarno's books are in 30 languages, which I think you saw in the other clip.
Yeah.
And there's been lots of movies since All the Rage about the mind-body connection and the science. And there's many more movies. There's a movie that just came out called Love Heals, all about brain education. I mean, this is our children's future. Please, God. There'll be a grocery store with one aisle for regular food and medicine, and everything else will be, you know. So the movie is called All the Rage. It's a deep title. I was like, why All the Rage? It's a deep title, and everyone gets to the reason why it's called All the Rage on their own. And
the answer is in the name. Yeah. The answer is in the name.
See, that's so deep. Wait, that's too deep for me. Help me with that.
Can you get it, iLan?
Wait, what do you mean?
All the rage.
What do you mean? All the rage.
Where's the rage coming from?
All the rage. Yeah. All the rage. Like he talks about that most people that have that chronic conditions are normative people, nice persons, you know, like very settled, very, how do you say, leratzot, when you...
People pleasing.
Pleasers. Very,
they
very
call goodies.
That like, it's not... that are taught that it's not right and it's not polite to be angry and to express our inner emotions and rage and all the things that like accumulate and the mind doesn't let us feel this because it's dangerous for us to feel that, and then we feel the pain. But if we let all that rage go out, if we express all that rage in a non-harmful way, then
we're releasing it. Yeah.
We will release the pain because the rage is an emotional pain that doesn't get expressed.
Beautiful.
So like some of the medicine is expressing. This is why they call the movie All the Rage, because everything leads into that disharmonic feelings.
This is fascinating. This is fascinating. Here's the clip here's the trailer for the film.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stuck? I spent a month on the floor, overwhelmed with stress. So when it finally went completely out and I was screaming on the floor in pain, I called Dr. Sarno.
The pain is generated in us when we put ourselves under pressure to be perfect and good. I was so bad personally. During a radio show, I had to lay down on the floor. It was such a great barometer of what was going on inside of me.
What do you mean psychological? I feel it. You think I'm making this pain up in my arm?
I must have spent 15 years of my life in this position.
Your body's telling you take a break and let some other person be awesome for a little while.
There's such a strong cultural mindset that the only legitimate way of treating disease is by giving drugs.
You know, my dad was hit by a car, and he was killed.
Feelings, that's what we're talking about here.
I've been creating pain so as not to deal with things.
I had diarrhea for 6 months, and it turns out I was just scared shitless.
That is one angry foot.
I was working 4 jobs. That was too much. It was too much.
And that fury will evoke physical symptomatology as a defense against the rage.
I mean, rather than burning down the Capitol, they are turning that anger against themselves. Right?
Exactly.
Why isn't this being looked at?
They say enlightenment isn't in the attaining of truth, it's the removing of lies.
It's talking about life and death. And when I say we, I mean the human race.
I believe in finding a way out of this, but it's going to be a long road.
Many people say you saved my life.
All of this because of one simple idea, the fact that the mind and the body are intimately connected. That's the whole story.
This was fun being in your documentary.
To my eyes.
Fascinating. Wow. What
Never get tired of that.
This is beautiful.
I wrote a note. I'm going to connect Michael Galinsky to you, and I'd like you to bring him on your show. He's amazing.
Sure, we'll be more than happy to. Blessed to do, and I'm so happy that, grateful that you are here, that we are here. This is so appropriately timed also, you know. It is everything is
trauma of our world. It's no one's fault. It's just, you know, COVID and Corona, it's not anyone's fault. It's just another opportunity for us to be responsible, that we don't have to be affected by what's going on in the world. We can be angry, we can be sad, we can be scared, but we have to learn to express, like Meirav said, those emotions in a healthy way.
Amen, amen, amen. Abracadabra, right? Let's express, and we're creating. We create what we'll. If we're expressing it healthily, we'll express it. But the thing is that also, if we're expressing it from a non-healthy way, it creates the effects. It creates the pain. It creates the discomfort. It creates the illusion. So
it's temporary.
I'm sorry.
Yes. But it's temporary.
Oh yeah.
It's important to remember. It's not life. It's not like it's curable. It's reversible, and it's temporary. If you go into the right places, if you ask the right questions, and you go to the right places, it can be like done.
This is wonderful. You who are watching here, thank you very much for being here, being with Dr. Tovah Goldfine and Meirav Har'el, both talking about healing ourselves, that it is all within us. And there's a website down here, TMS Roundtable, where you're also having the weekly shows that you're doing with Meirav. And this is the Facebook page down here. This is their websites. Any last, we could continue this till tomorrow. This is so fascinating and so much needed to bring this healing from a
different. There's lots of free information on the internet. If anybody wants any information, they can contact Meirav and I. We're always, directing them to amazing resources. When people need help, we are here for them. We are here to either help them or find someone to help them, because it is, it's a team effort. We're a family, and we want to help each other, help ourselves. We're not here to fix you, because you're not broken. That's my message. What's your message, Meirav?
Well, my message is, if something hurts, and you want it to be over with, don't let people, don't be around people that tell you that you cannot do it, that you're not able. Just stay away from these kind, not because they're bad, it's because their
defense
the fact that
mechanism.
they don't believe doesn't say anything. Go and look for the people, for the professionals, for the professional team that will tell you, yes, you can, because you can, because it is possible. It's not always easy, and you got to go through pain in order to like go on the other side. But just look for the people who will support you and make you stronger and make you believe in yourself. Go and look for these kind of people in your surroundings. Don't stick near the people who say, no, you can't. This is like a very, very important message.
Thank you. It's who do we want to sit at our Shabbat table? Who do we want to sit at our table? Supportive environment. This is incredibly supportive. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your gifts, your gifts through your pain and the gifts to us. So thank you very much for Dr. Tovah Goldfine and Meirav Har'el, and the websites are down here. Please reach out to them directly. You can even respond to this video in the comments, and they will see the comments. If you don't want to reach out directly, we're all here to support and to be for one another and to close the loops that we have to have this fabric of the tree of life, to have the fabric of togetherness, especially with everything that is going on in the world now. We need to be together. The effort of the externals is to keep us separated. To be together, and together is also with us.
iLan, bless your heart. First of all, bless your heart. Bless your big heart.
Okay, thank you. Amen. Hopefully. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, Tovah and Meirav. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for you who are listening here. As Abracadabra, create what you speak, literally and figuratively. I'm iLan Azoulai, your host, sound therapist, and spiritual mentor for you who are ready to reclaim your power. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the courage to show up. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you. Thanks.
Bye.
Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai.
Get your praise on with Praise 95, your home for traditional gospel greats and today's hits. You can listen to us on the Audiolist app or online at audilous.com/praise95. Oh, and don't forget our sister stations, Worship 95 and Rhymes 95. We have something just for you. It's Praise 95, your number one station for inspiration.
If you're looking for some of the best alternative rock,
1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine.
What's up? This is Brad, and this is Rob from Linkin Park.
95 The Edge, powered by Autolist.com. Download the Autolist radio app from the Apple or Google Play Store and enjoy some of the best alternative punk rock and grunge from the 90s to today.